for the past 8 seasons, starting in 1978 with a half-point win over Iowa State to become national team champions. The Iowa Hawkeyes under Dan Gable have assumed dominance.
You're viewing one of the stations of Iowa Public Television.
Wrestling tonight from Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa. Iowa has been totally unstoppable the past 2 seasons, and Iowa State's only loss this year came to the Hawks.
15 out of the last 17 national championships have been won by these 2 teams. And of course, everybody knows Iowa's on a roll. They won 10 out of 11 themselves. Probably pulled away from the pack as much as any team ever. They now have established a clear dominance between everybody and themselves.
Well, wouldn't you say that there are actually 3 categories now? There's Iowa, and then there's Iowa State, which has pulled away from everybody else too.
Oh, that's true, and I think a lot of the credit there goes to Jim Gibbons, the new head coach at Iowa State. What he's done is he's taken a staff of young coaches. He's put Ed Bannick coming over from Iowa, Kevin Darkus just out of the ranks as a competitor, Les Anderson after 18 years as an assistant. He's taken those men, put them together into a staff. And that staff has given the young wrestlers from Iowa State renewed enthusiasm, a new kind of spirit, and it's begun to show.
And I think nobody appreciates that more than the big rival over in Iowa City, Dan Gable, who's here today.
Well, that's true, and Dan really likes to have competition. He's got it now. Of course, you know, if there was going to be a national poker game in wrestling, Dan Gable would want to be at the table because he's used to picking up all the chips this time of year.
Oh, this is the big season for Dan. Now, the last time he won big. He had a 25-9 win down at Iowa City.
Well, that's true. That was a big win, but there are a lot of close matches in there. You know, some of those things could turn around this time. I'm anticipating a lot of close matches again. And, you know, we've got some lineup changes now.
Iowa lining up at the mat has won 36 straight dual meets. The last time they lost to Iowa State was here in 1981. That's what Iowa has done this year against rated teams. They've beaten all of them. And you don't see any close ones there either, do you?
No, some of those, they were still in the process of developing a lineup.
And that's the Iowa team and Iowa State. You don't see very many close ones in there either. The only loss was to Iowa. And earlier, I had a chance to talk with both coaches about tonight's big duel. Last time at Iowa's place, you had some close matches, but you lost by a fairly big score. What do you think will be the difference for you this time?
Well, we're hoping that we can go out there and wrestle somewhat of the pace that we've established since the Iowa meet. We've wrestled Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma and UNI, and we've really put it to them, I thought, as far as the pace of the match. And we want to go out there and do that again this time, and I think we'll see us closer meet.
And the crowd should help.
I feel the crowd will help. It's kind of a lot better having 15,000 people cheered for you than against you.
Last time at your place, you established dominance over Iowa State fairly early. How do you get dominance at the other guy's place?
Well, I guess it'd be nice to start out the similar fashion because momentum in wrestling sometimes carries a big weight. And right here in Hilton Coliseum, it'd be nicer to have the momentum going our way at the beginning because once it gets switched around the other way, it's going to be more difficult than it would if it was at Iowa. So right now, we're going to have to just wrestle on the strength of our team in the beginning, and hopefully that my kids are good enough to be able to start that dominance off at the beginning. But this is the kind of meet that really, even if you do lose or upset somewhere, somebody else could upset the other guy. So the way I'm looking at it is hope to have a good total meet, but have to wait and see.
And we will. It's Iowa versus Iowa State coming up next on Iowa Public Television.
No, I think that our guys were wrestling better. We had to make it. We wanted to find out for ourselves whether we were the team that got lit up, lost 7-3, or we're the team that been keeping pace with them since we went against Iowa.
You know, I've been thinking about this all day, and probably thinking about it all my life. But I don't know how to say this. But I look back at myself then, now, and I was a mess. I was a mess. But I don't think I ever got to bed before 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was probably coming in about that late at night. And I was doing a lot of stuff that was like corralling my athletes a little bit. I feel like I was fitting in too much, and there wasn't like a barrier there. Okay, here's the team, here's the coach. I think I was kind of over on this side a little bit too much.
You were heading up to Utah State to coach the All-Star game. You and the SID from Iowa at the time, who was?
Phil Hattie.
Phil Hattie, had a rental car. Jim was standing there in the line to get his rental car to go up to Logan, Utah.
Logan, Utah for the All-Star meet at
to watch
Utah
Joe
State.
wrestle. I believe it was you invited him to ride up to this match together. And there were some questions asked in that car.
Well,
Take us through that, what you remember about that.
If I'd have been a little smarter now that I know a lot of stuff, that in that ride, I might not have opened up as much as I should have. He was behind me. I couldn't read his face. I didn't know he was driving forward and wanted to kick my butt, but I guess you learn.
what Dan didn't know was I was about ready to interview for the Iowa State job. I was 25 at the time, I think, and they asked me to get, Phil Hattie says, hey, just let's get one rental car and we'll just go up together. It was an hour and a half ride up the mountains, and so I got there in the car, got my bag in the back seat, and I said, what the heck, this is my chance to learn from the master. So I just put my elbows up on the the two seats in the car, and I just started asking you every question I could about your program, how you're running it, running your camps, everything that was that you would need to know as a head coach. I learned something about you that day, is that that you would always tell people the truth. At the state tournament, after I got the job, they announced it before the state tournament, and I'm sitting by myself in Veterans Auditorium at the end zone, and I'm like 16 rows up where nobody would really look for me, but you found me, and he comes running up to me, and he doesn't say much of anything, although he comes up to me, he points his finger at me, and says, I told you too much.
Hey, you learn a lesson, so I got to, from now on, know who's in the back seat. A little better than I did at that time. If I could have kept my mouth shut, I might have won that championship.
It was a tough night for the Cyclones against this powerhouse from Iowa.
Well, I think that Iowa State learned a lot from this meet, and likewise so did Iowa. Iowa State has a real good idea now of what their young men have to do against the outstanding. But more importantly, Iowa now knows they got to get these guys in shape. They had a lot of tired wrestlers tonight from these matches.
If you tuned in late, let me tell you who won. Eglin won for Iowa, Glynn in an upset over Kelly, and it was a team point taken away from Iowa State there too. Randall over Jeff Gibbons. Royce Alger, Marty Kistler, Rico Ciparelli, Dwayne Goldman all won decisions. And at heavyweight, John Heropoulos got a pin over Andy Heyman in 5:39. The Hawks 25 and Iowa State 9. There's no question that the University of Iowa will remain ranked number 1. And Iowa State might just very well continue as number 2.
Home field, home court, home mat makes a difference. I mean, the dominant teams, they take that and they use that to their advantage.
I must have been overconfident a little bit. I shouldn't have been, because I just believe our lightweight, Matt Eglin, just made weight late, I believe.
Probably made weight about a half hour before that interview.
And so we usually weigh in 5 hours ahead, and I think we just weighed in like the hour before, when the last time you could, or up to the half hour before.
Boy, you don't think this crowd is up now?
I think it's just the beginning, Doug.
At 118 pounds, here we go. Everybody knows how important these first matches are. You've seen whole meat swing on what happened at 118 pounds.
That's right. And a lot of times when you get a big crowd at home, that's what makes the difference.
We have a microphone, as you know, from past watching, on Phil Henning. It's Matt Eglin of Iowa, ranked number 8, down at 118 for good now, against Perry Summit. We know that Eglin had a little trouble making weight today.
That was a long day. That was an extremely long day. Had a lot of trouble cutting weight. I was empty in the head. I was tired. Went through a lot of physical stress. Had the opportunity to make weight. An hour later, I was on the mat back wrestling him.
Matt Eglin, I remember, you know, he had placed second in the NCAAs the previous year. During that time, I knew that he was having trouble making weight. Hi, I'm Perry Summit. I'm from Bloomington, Indiana. I placed third in the Indiana State Wrestling Tournament. I went on to wrestle at the University of Northern Iowa, and then I went on to Iowa State University, where we went on to win a national title.
Hello, I'm Matt Eglin. I wrestled for West Des Moines Dowling, state champion. Then I went on to the University of Iowa Hawkeyes, Big Ten champion, second in the nation.
That was his first time down at 118 pounds.
Well, this is almost going to be like the first time. When he was 4 or 5 pounds overweight to start with, he's going to have a little bit of trouble being able to replenish that fluid supply, get himself back in here and get going. We'll see. He tends to be a fast starter. He likes to get out and get his points early, as he did the last time. He's not starting that fast this time. Maybe he's going to try to conserve, and of course, that never works. When you're out there, it's the same as if you're going hard or you're going easy.
Summit, you can see, trying to leg sweep. He's a thrower from up high. Eglin is more of a low shots man, like that.
He's in deep right there. Just missed the leg. He went in so far, he missed the leg. Now, Summit has a good high crotch, just like
Eglin had some slick stuff. I mean, he got in deep there. I was pretty lucky to be on the edge. Yeah, he was a really physical wrestler.
Now, Eglin, as you know, has had an up-and-down year, most of it at 126, but last year he was a runner-up in the Nationals at this weight.
Well, when he gets down and stays down, he's a tenacious competitor.
Back off the edge, guys.
First period, 118 pounds, the Cyclones and the Hawkeyes.
I just remember the coaches coming around and rallying around and just saying, hey, you know, you were right there with him. The strategy was to go out and to push him hard and just wrestle my match.
Perry Summit's come on very well for Iowa State this year. He's put himself in the picture now as the man, likes this weight, likes it at Iowa State after transferring from Northern Iowa. He's a man to really threaten a lot of people, even though he's not in the rankings. He's in the right program with the right coaches. Having a guy like Darkus, the rest of them every day, he hasn't hurt anybody.
He's got 44 seconds riding time. Come on, move. He's got riding time, 44 seconds. Get him on there, let's go.
You heard Dan tell Eglin how much riding time Summit has, so he'll probably try to ride for a while and erase a little bit of it and maybe get some back points if he can. 3-3 score. That's Perry Summit, who comes from Bloomington, Indiana.
He knows what he has to do here. Now, what you want to do is keep that arm free, make Eglin move up off the legs, and then get to his feet to score the point. Coach Gable say, Eglin, you got to be tough right now.
Beautiful try at a fireman's carry, but he couldn't make it work either time. Referee Phil Henning says they're out of bounds.
I just remember that he had gotten tired and, you know, was struggling to get through the whole match. So that was my cue to put the pedal to the metal the next time.
I don't remember much of that, other than I remember having Perry gave me the opportunity to stare at the lights at Hilton Coliseum in front of 14,000 people. Not many people get to do that.
It's ranked 8.
45 going, okay.
Now Summit comes out there.
Both of them, ready?
Important starting matches. Time remaining about a minute in the second period. Summit leads, has a strong front headlock. He does have the front headlock position, but a beautiful outside carry. Eglin is caught. They step.
The wrong place at the wrong time. Timing is everything.
That's Perry Summit of Iowa State. Here's what happened.
Boyd stepped in, tried to go the other way. Summit felt him going, stepped across. Once he stepped across and locked the legs, it's just inevitable, a matter of time. Got the fall.
And there was nothing he could do about it.
No, once he had those legs in, it's one arm out high, and the other arm, once he takes both of them above his head.
So it's Iowa State 6 at the beginning, and Iowa nothing. And those are the kinds of surprises that make it interesting.
We're accustomed to them in this big duel between Iowa and Iowa State, aren't we, Doug?
That's a fact. College wrestling tonight from Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa.
Because they called him the Flea. And it wasn't like he was small. He was like a flea, like he'd rap, and you just couldn't get him off you.
The Flea, yes. Well, he was crazy. He was a crazy guy. He loved wrestling, and he wrestled hard. He was from the East Coast, so he was a little different, but he fit in.
Hi, I'm Brad Penrith. I'm from Windsor, New York. I'm a 1983 grad in high school. I was a 4-time placer. I was a state champion. And then 83, after I graduated, I went on to the University of Iowa, where I ended up being a 3-time Big Ten champion. I won the NCAA title, and I was a finalist 2 other times. Afterwards, in international style, I ended up taking a silver medal at the World Championships.
Now we go to 126. Brad Penrith of Iowa against Bill Kelly, 2 tough guys. Kelly has the single leg. He has the takedown.
You know, Bill had a great reputation of being kind of a hard-nosed kid. A guy on my team who was a senior who beat Bill in a duel earlier, so it was actually added pressure onto me that I had to go in there and perform, you know, just to keep the spot on the team.
He took over this position from Paul Glenn.
And Glenn was having a great year, you know. He moved in there after Eglin went down. He'd gone undefeated till lost this match in a tryout.
Tells you something about the competition in that wrestling room.
It certainly does.
And neither one of them was the man who started here. Eglin was up there at the beginning of the season. Now Kelly made a big move.
Now what he has is he's got his hips up on top. Penrith's got his hips on the bottom. No good legger wants to be under, hips down. They always want that belly button up on top and toward the mat. I see him trying to pull himself up out of there. Kelly knows he's got to bring his hips across.
And a reversal for Kelly, leads 4-0.
You know, he did a very solid job of wrestling, very controlled. And I was a scrambler, and I was a switch, a Granby, a roar, and he did a very good job of controlling my hips. And maybe there's a little panic in my part, but he did a really good job of controlling me in some of the positions that I consider myself pretty good at.
He hasn't too tired to be effective with his moves, Doug.
But stalling can make a difference. Kelly doesn't want to get called for stalling. potentially dangerous on the knee. 5 seconds to go.
Yeah, he's got this one in the bag.
Well, 5 seconds is 5 seconds.
Some things can happen.
Things happen, you know.
He's a cool competitor, though. He understands what he's got to do.
And there it is. With riding time, it's a 3-point win for Kelly. 5-2 over Penrith. And Iowa State is already well ahead of where they were in Iowa City. It's the Cyclones 9, the Hawkeyes nothing after 2 matches.
I knew when Perry Summit pinned Matt Eglin that the outcome for this dual meet could be much different than the first time we faced Iowa. And it was very exciting. And then, of course, when Bill Kelly won the next match against Brad Penrith, I think we were all feeling like we could win this match.
So, okay, so the first match, we got pinned.
Yeah.
The second match...
Kelly and Penrith,
and
5-2.
5-2?
Yeah.
So after the match, Matt Eglin ended up losing. And I went out and wrestled, and I lost. And Gable comes up to me and goes, "Get your running gear on." And I'm like looking at him going, "What?" He goes, "Get your running gear on." Okay, he goes, pointing like this. And I'm like looking up at the crowd, and he goes, "Let's go do a lap." So me and Matt started running out to Helen Coliseum, 16,000 people. And the whole time, remember, I just lost. People were saying stuff to me, saying, "Hey, really good match, Penrith. Hey, welcome to Helen Coliseum." I mean, I got some good ones. I got some zingers at me, but he comes up and he goes, "Let's go 15 minutes of sprints out in front of the concession stands." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So we went out and we ran 15 minutes of sprints out in front of the concession stands. Just crazy.
Hawks aren't accustomed to this.
No, and it makes it interesting for everybody here. Everybody knows that Iowa is top up the way. And they're top right here, too. Number 3 ranked Greg Randall goes against Jeff Gibbons at 134. The last time out, Randall won 8-3.
But Gibbons in that match showed a lot to a lot of people. I think he did a great job against a real seasoned veteran.
Well, the Hawkeyes need somebody to do something big here, of course. And Randall would like very much to do it. He's a tough, strong wrestler.
Realizing that, okay, I got a chance at being good. I was a 4-time state champion, Iowa high school wrestling. Went on to Iowa and became a 3-time All-American and 2-time NCAA finalist.
My name's Jeff Gibbons from Ames High. I was a 2-time state champion and a 2-time All-American for Iowa State University and a member of the national championship team.
Jeff Gibbons is a redshirt freshman, 2-time state champion. Greg Randall, as you know, was a 4-time high school champion.
Well, he's going to have to get some offense going now. You get caught up in the match you're in. Now, Randall's in here with Jeff Gibbons. There he does that little pitch. You saw him move those hips.
Did he call a score or not?
Well, we didn't get a chance to see it. The coach is from Iowa right there.
Hold it. His feet was off, but the shoulders were still in. Okay, just a second now. Let me think it through. His feet were off, but both his shoulders were in. Just lay off.
Phil is trying to.
No takedown.
No takedown.
Great call, Phil. I mean, that took guts. Now, this right here was probably one of the best calls I've ever seen in Iowa public television by Phil Henning. Clearly, I was very fortunate we got off the mat because, quite frankly, if he doesn't make that call, I'm probably still on my back today.
Okay, you were still on your side too much. There wasn't total control there.
Now watch, you see both men go outside.
So you're both out
when
of
they
bounds,
both go out,
shoulders are still in.
the supporting
if you
parts.
had control, you'd have gotten 2 and 2, but you didn't have the control, so you're both up.
And Gable knew that because he wasn't off the bench. Of course, Gibbons knew that too, so that's the way he was out trying to remind him you were right the first time, and that's the way it came out. And that is when the supporting parts of the wrestlers go out, you're out. Of course, if the shoulders are the supporting part while one man's in, then you can still keep him in, but they were both off, both knees out.
I just wanted somebody there for my side. Gable wasn't there. He didn't stand up. If Gable and Gibbons were like toe-to-toe, it's like, that was Randall's points. You said Gibbons. You know, who would have won? What would Phil Henning say? It's like, you're right, Gable. And I go, well, I would say that's bullshit, because I would have pinned him right there. So, you know, but the thing is, I mean, if you look at it, and if you look at Jeff's reaction, if you look at my reaction, it's just like, I accepted it. Let's get back. You know, I didn't bitch. You know, I just like, all right, let's go. Get back to the center. But he beat me back to the center. I don't know how he did that.
The freshman from Iowa State.
Pushed off.
3-1.
Both up.
3-1 Randall at 134 pounds, second period. Riding time is negligible.
They wrestled a full period, and I don't see any sign of fatigue yet by either guy. So, and they had a lot of action.
Right.
A lot of action.
I wrestled Greg 5 times. I'm lucky to win 1. And I had to be on my game. My margin of error was very, very small.
He keeps on with those little pops. See, those little ones keep the referee off your back.
And Gibbons will have to score the other way. He's down by 2. Randall just keeps coming forward.
He's probably, in his mind, he's got a good takedown.
No takedown yet.
Now he has right at the end of the grid.
A takedown for Gibbons.
Wow. Yeah. There you go. That got you up there.
See this? He drops.
He's right there on the edge. Did a good job. Yeah. Wow, he caught him. Good job of come across with that left arm.
I was riding left-handed, and he came up, and I grabbed his wrist, I popped him down, and he hit his head on the mat. I remember that. And I think that might have changed a little bit of the third period.
This meet is indicative of that, for sure.
3-3 is the score. Gibbons starts the third period now. Randall on top. Out of bounds. The riding time is only 13 seconds for Randall. So it doesn't mean anything yet unless Randall can get a good long ride.
If you're going to win big-time matches, you got to be able to get out in 15 seconds. Greg was controlling me. You know, I still want to be the first one back to the middle.
Going out of bounds. And he beats me back to the center. It's like, I wasn't going to start running back to the center. You know, I was just going to wrestle my match because he wasn't going to get me out of my match, because that would have got me out of my match.
Got a lot of pump, Doug.
Well,
Randall's pretty poised, though. I mean, this is, you know, he's probably going to win 80% of the time in this situation, maybe, if he's doing what he needs, and then Jeff does a nice job of slipping out. So we got a lead right now.
A minute and 30 seconds to go. It's on the line now.
Seatbelt, sir. My head goes down.
Randall
goes up around that. Got that seatbelt. Came to the half. Scored the takedown.
Got the takedown when he had to get it. Here we have a minute to go. 44 seconds of riding time for Randall. Randall leads.
I want to make sure that they got every second
He needs to
a
get
little closer than I'd like it to be. And I'll tell you, when it's family, it's probably tough, too.
No, it is. Right there, if he loosens up, he might be able to get it. But good job of holding on to that wrist.
You see the clock up there in the center.
But once I knew I had the match, once I knew that I was in control, that's the only time I ran back. There's like 15, 20 seconds left. You know, I was up by 2. You know, he's not going to reverse me.
Randall in a strong position here with only 5 seconds to go. Ryan trying to get back points.
He's got to get back points. He's got him over there. Put that half on and drove him to his back with it.
So it's near fall for Randall. Makes it 7-4. Fighting time makes it 8-4. Gibbons improves by 1 point.
Oh, it's a heck of an effort, though, by Jeff Gibbons. I mean, all that came right at the end. He just did an outstanding job. Really pushed Greg Randall all the way to the limit.
But the Hawks are on the board for the first time, if you can believe it. If you just tuned in, that's a fact. Iowa State won the first 2 matches on a pin and a decision. Randall gets it up to 9-3 now with an 8-4 victory over Gibbons. And now we go to the first of these top dog matches. I see a big smile on your face.
Oh, this is great. It's just great to participate in this, whether you're working on television.
That was it right there. I could never keep Joe Gibbons off my legs.
142 pounds. Gibbons ranked #1 for Iowa State. Dresser #2. They were a draw the last time.
He hit that high crotch right off the whistle. And he still doesn't have it because the whizzer is affected. Now this is how wrestlers lose knees. So the referee is looking at this closely. Being a competitor, Dresser's going to fight this as all he can. Boy, that's not tough on knees. Now he scores the 2.
And Gibbons has the takedown.
Joe Gibbons, 4-time state champ, Waterloo, Columbus, and Ames High School, 4-time All-American at Iowa State University, and national champion.
Joe's brother Jim wants him to finish this now. You got the lead, you're dominating the match. Finish it off.
There it is right there.
Whoa. Wow. That was unbelievable high crotch. He caught him leaning.
Yeah. He went soft hands on him. Yeah.
And making riding time. It's 3-3. That's why he's ranked as high as he is. But again, the knee.
Potentially dangerous.
You know, Joe looks just a little bit like he needs more energy.
Yeah.
And I think he was in on that shot a lot.
Yeah.
Well, he's carrying that weight.
Even Gable don't like that.
Yeah. You know, I agree with that call.
1, 2.
Referee saying improve on that ankle. You can't stay back there.
3-3 at the end of 2 periods.
Well, you got to be good in the bottom, and so I don't think either one of us rode each other for more than 15 seconds ever.
Iowa needs a win.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
Beautiful high
He lost the arm or he'd have had that. Now Gibbons has got him counted out. He's going to try to hold him in close. He doesn't want to let those hips get free, Doug.
Yeah, he had to go think about that, but I think...
And you were, I mean, I knew you'd come off a knee injury, but I was like...
I think my brother Jeff went over there and pinched him and said, it's senior night, give him a break, so...
Yeah, it wasn't a near fall situation. It wasn't a takedown yet. Potentially dangerous.
It was pulling the knee.
Joe hurt his knee on that move.
I remember I got a hard time from my teammates because I went like 2 and my fingers were all taped together. And they were going, what are you talking about? I said, I was trying to tell them it was 2.
I think you were looking for 4, right?
Yeah.
And Joe's in this position. Now he starts to come in this position now. As he starts to go here, he's pulling up on the knee, blocking it with his shoulder. And the referee calls it off. Well, how can he get out of that by doing that?
There's no takedown because he still had a chance for the elevator over the top, and the toe was being twisted real bad under there. It's a cheap call, but can't coach now. It's
Phil Henning explaining to Dan Gable what was going on. We're at Hilton Coliseum.
Twisted under.
We have 1 minute to go. That's a stall warning against Dresser, but it's not going to hurt him at all. It's too late for that.
Well, Mike, if he gets penalized, it would hurt him.
I don't think there's time enough to penalize him.
That's the first time I ever got beat by a Hawkeye, so...
Yeah, look at that.
A big win for Kevin Dresser. And that's what this Iowa State team is made of. They need to get this Iowa team is made of. They come down from 9-0.
Are you going to listen to a referee talk to the...
He threw his headgear.
This is illegal. Oh, it's a... Yes, he picked his headgear up and threw it off.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Unsportsmanlike conduct, throwing headgear, deduct 1 team point.
the winner is Dresser. A big win for Kevin Dresser.
I lost a team point because I celebrated and threw my headgear.
And that's what this Iowa State team is made of. They need to get this Iowa team is made of. They come down from 9-0.
Are you going to listen to a referee talk to this?
He threw his headgear. Oh, man. That ain't going to fly well with the Cyclone Nation, is it?
Oh, it's a... Yes, he picked his headgear up and threw it off.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Unsportsmanlike conduct, throwing headgear, deduct 1 team point.
And that happened in Iowa City against Iowa State, but it happened here. That's in the rule book. You throw the headgear, and it's now instead of 9-6, it's 9-5. College wrestling tonight from Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa.
A lot of kids lose track of what's going on. That's a really an unnecessary team point deduction there.
Now that I'm the Iowa State coach, I'm going to probably have to. There's got to be a disclaimer and an apology going out before this video goes.
He grabbed his headgear and threw it to the teammates along the side of the match. And it wasn't malicious or anything, but there was a new rule this year that says you cannot throw your headgear after the meet is over with. And so I had to penalize him a team point for doing that for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Dresser wins, throws his headgear, we lose a team point, and I'm like, geez, what else can go wrong here? You know? Wild, isn't it?
And here we go with the other 1 and 2 men. Krieger against Heffernan. The Hawks have got it rolling now, and it's going to be up to Krieger to get Iowa State back in momentum.
Hi, my name is Tim Krieger. I'm originally from Mason City, Iowa. I was a 3-time state champ at Mason City High and a 2-time national champ for Iowa State University.
I'm Jim Heffernan. I grew up in North Olmsted, Ohio. Attended St. Edward High School in Lakewood, which is a famous wrestling school. Was a member of 4 state championship teams there. Attended the University of Iowa. Was a 4-time All-American, 3-time national finalist, 4-time Big Ten champ, and 1986 NCAA champ. I was lucky enough at the University of Iowa to be on 4 Big Ten championship teams and 3 national championship teams, including the 1986 team that was famous for the largest spread between the first and second team at the NCAA championships at that time.
In Iowa City, Krieger pushed a good deal. Heffernan was not terribly aggressive, but he is here.
Boy, hit in there deep on that one, didn't he? As soon as you say it, it comes back like a plague against you, doesn't it?
I wrestled him early in the year. I think we tied, if I remember right. I think it was 3-3 in the dual meet, as I recall.
And Iowa has begun to dominate these matches a little bit here now. 2-1 is the score. Heffernan, after the escape, still leads by 1.
But we'll see if Heffernan keeps that offense. Last time, as you said, Krieger was really the pusher, and Heffernan wrestled a little apprehensive. This time he opened up with the shot, but it's a long match. And we'll see if he can keep that momentum, keep that attitude that I'm the #1 ranked guy and I can do this.
You know, it always seemed like I wanted to wrestle on our feet, he wanted to wrestle on the mat.
2-1, Heffernan got a takedown, and Krieger has the escape.
Now again, Doug, here's a guy, Krieger from Iowa State, that's so dangerous with hips. I was talking about Randall being dangerous with his hips. Here's another guy that's the same way. Sometimes when you get him, you really don't have him.
Jim took me down the first, 10 seconds, and I always felt like Jim could take me down at will if he kept shooting.
Heffernan is handling things really well here. He's been in twice on dangerous takedown shots and once made it score. Almost had it here a moment ago.
Well, he's been the guy
like that.
Just like that. Now the Whizzer still has the arm block. Krieger still has the arm block, so he didn't score. But he was there, wasn't he?
He was there.
Get off the edge, get off the edge.
Boy, Krieger dodged a bullet. It's Krieger's choice.
And he's where he wants to be, Doug.
Now, in Iowa City, he had a choice he didn't take up. He took down, And our experience looking at Krieger this year is he's very strong on top. And if he's going to make a win of this against the #1 ranked man, you'll have to do it on top.
He's got the arm and the waist. You saw him cinching up the waist.
It's one of those guys to me that had an incredible grip, really long arms, his tight waist felt like it was a belt that wrapped around my stomach twice.
Instead of it having the top man's offensive negligence and his inability to score, Heffernan is going to try to take his offense away by being flat on him. Keep the hips low.
Nice move by Heffernan. A very nice, quick move.
Caught him just in the change right there.
Yeah, he had a little chink in his arm where he struggled down. And just fortunately for me, that was kind of my best spot.
The arm down. What he's trying to do is put him down.
Bottom man, you're stalling.
There's a warning against Heffernan on the bottom. And of course, that could be significant.
Here's where he wants to be. Loading him, pulling him.
Back points.
That's what he's so good at.
He's really a tough man in that tilt position.
He knows where he is, even though he's underneath. He's got that arm tight. Now he's lost the arm, so he'll start to work his way up on top of him.
So Krieger takes the lead 3-2. Big roar from the crowd at Hilton Coliseum. Heffernan takes his choice and takes down.
Well, I don't know if that is a very good decision.
Well, 3-2. He knows he has to score.
I know.
Maybe take up, you think?
He puts himself right back in the snake pit. When you fish around in the beehive, you'd like to hunt for honey and not for bees.
He obviously got the advantage where we spent too much time on the mat and really limited my time on my feet. But it was especially in Iowa with all the wrestling on Iowa PBS at the time. There was no secrets. I mean, there was no secrets. So it wasn't like we were going into the unknown.
He's got a couple of minutes riding time on him, and he's piling on him now. This is not one of Heffernan's great spots.
So there's a moment during my match, and if you watch the duel, they go to Gable, and Gable's sitting there pretty relaxed, and he kind of had a smile on his face, and he raises his eyebrows.
I think he's going to try to put it to him.
Gable's always yelling to his guys. And if you remember, I used to walk in between Gable and Heffernan, and I'd look at what Gable was telling Heffernan to do. I was just kind of pimping him a little bit, because we kind of had that relationship.
Here he comes. This is where he's good. Got an arm tied up. Oh, now he's got his hips.
Oh, he's reversed. He lost it. It's 4-4.
He's got the leg tied up, too.
But it is riding time for Krieger.
He has enough that he'll have a point on riding time. He's got to get off the bottom first. He's got to be able to get up. Heffernan's got to turn him in order to win. Krieger needs to get his head up off the mat and get up out of there.
Heffernan really has to put on the mustard here to try to get Krieger on his back. It's a 4-4 score on the board, but Krieger has a riding time point 6. All right, let's see what happens.
All right, he's got to put him down. Now he's here, he might let him go.
5-4 Krieger, but a takedown will tie it. A takedown for Heffernan would be a draw. And there are only 14 seconds to go. Oh, boy. Nice move by Heffernan.
Oh, real nice move.
And a warning against Krieger for going out. So now Krieger has to go with just 4 seconds, 3 seconds. No! It's Krieger. The freshman beats the All-American, and for the second match in a row, we see the #1 ranked man lose.
Amazing.
Or I should say, we saw the #2 man win, because I don't think anybody lost either.
Real scraps, weren't they?
There's Tim Krieger of Mason City, and the score after 150 pounds is Iowa State 12 and Iowa 5. Royce Alger at 158 pounds for Iowa. We're going into the last 5 weights. Iowa has a
Testing 1, 2, 3.
My name is Royce Alger. I'm from Lisbon High School. I won 3 state titles there. I went on, graduated in 1983, was recruited by Dan Gable. I wrestled for him. I won 3 Big Ten titles at 3 different weights from 86 to 88. Finished my senior year and junior year undefeated. Won 2 national titles, 87, 88 at 167 and 177. After that, I wrestled internationally for 10 years. My highest acclaim is a world silver medal in 1990. When we do that takeover, you're going to edit this, right?
Is everybody giving you a Roy story?
Everybody likes Royce, see.
What are you doing, Roy?
That was Royce for you. He brought something different to the table.
Anything you could tell me about Royce wouldn't shock me.
Nothing surprises me with Royce.
Brute physical force, grit. That's Alger.
Royce Alger was a 58-pounder. He called himself speed personified.
I remember Royce adamant that he was going to turn the tide, you know, and which is awesome, which there was no doubt in our minds that he, you know, could do, probably would do.
My name is Bill Tate, state champion, 1983 for Waterloo Columbus High School, and was recruited to Iowa State in 1983-84. I was there till 88.
And you were Bam Bam Tate. You had a nickname, you had a moniker in 5th grade. Bam Bam, Bam Bam.
Yeah.
I would like to watch the match.
Okay. Really?
I've never seen the match.
Royce Alger at 158 pounds for Iowa. We're going into the last 5 weights. Iowa has a good deal of strength through here, so the crowd at Hilton Coliseum, we saw an upset right at the start, is hoping for some more here. There's Tate, Bill Tate of Iowa State, fought off finally of a move, and he hurts.
Injury time.
We hope that you're getting a big kick out of this.
There was a little bit of contention about what Royce was trying to accomplish here.
All right, in the groin, huh?
Twice.
I don't know exactly what happened. You know, he starts right here, starting to come into him, has Alger in the leg, and I think maybe he catches a knee up in the groin, perhaps. That just caused him some problems.
Crowd behind us in the replay saw that, and there was a big so no question about it.
Kicked you right there. You need me. Look at you did it 2 or 3 times. Call that timeout. That was intentional.
Well, I couldn't let you have any more position.
See, Jim, he comes over there. Boom, hit the single.
Well, I wasn't out there selling Christmas cookies.
Boom.
Well, I'm glad you could get that off your back. Well, it took you 35 years. I don't remember doing it.
Biggest match of the meet right now for Iowa State. They can get this one. They are definitely a threat to win.
Because it's you're starting really the second half here. Everybody calmed down a little bit for the intermission. People went out, got a little popcorn, you know. He wants to throw.
He wants the inside grip. Tate's got to be able to get out of it.
There's some.
No!
Oh, boy, refro there.
Oh.
Wow, but he didn't end up on his back. I mean, he came off his back.
Well, he was thinking offense. He wasn't thinking about getting out of it.
Wow.
That was a nice refro. Give me a pound on that.
Royce hardly ever shot, but he tries different techniques and he pushes you. And it's like, okay, now he did shoot that time, and just the athleticism there, just the scrambling, and then whoop, take him down. That was phenomenal.
4-1. 4-2 after the escape.
Now you see his ability. You know, you watch him do those kind of things, and you know that takes athletic talent. That isn't coached. You know, those are reaction type of things that you depend on balance and quickness and reaction.
Oh man, watch me shove my knee into it right there. That's what I was trying to do to you before. Oh boy, you ducked the bullet there though.
Oh, I did.
Oh!
That's where I knew I had.
You like that? Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right.
There's the end of the first period and a 6-2 lead for Tate.
6-2.
That's in that first period.
It lets you know that
he can. Man.
Perhaps it'll let him know that he can. That may be the biggest factor.
I'm surprised he didn't get around there. He didn't get behind the arms, but look who's back in. Tate's right back in there. Oh, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah,
oh,
comes
my
back the other way.
These are some, I'll tell you what, there was no holes barred, and he gets it. Look at the time. Oh, man. Royce almost has him 2 or 3 times, and I'll tell you what, Tate did some good scrambles.
7-2. Coach Gable's looking at that with a little bit of disgust.
Look at Gable. He's not very happy either.
I'm a little perturbed right there. I think because it's like I see something I don't like it's not the score. I think I'm reading Royce a little. The pop.
Wow. Look at that. Still driving and pulling in on your knees. That'll tire you out a little bit after a while.
But that's something we worked on, though. I'm tickled to death with my guy, all right? Up 7-2 and attacking like that, you
Exactly.
know? Yep, I'm just, look at that.
Yeah. So I got a little bit opposite. We're not controlling what we need to be controlling. Just like that. We made a shot, but we didn't really get the shot we needed.
For each of us right now. You just got to finish the match. I got to go score.
He's telling him that he's pushing, but Alger's going to just make a little shot on the edge. Tate doesn't need to do this. Just keep wrestling offensively.
You see the time coming down. We're in the second period. A lot of time left. A lot of time.
Roll! Oh! Are you kidding me?
That was athletic. You had me.
What the hell? That might have been 4 in freestyle.
Simply, I didn't want to quit there. You had my ass there, man.
We had him. I think Royce probably thought he had him. But Tate didn't stop.
Yeah.
So they didn't give a takedown there, right? An escape? They didn't.
No, it was just no points.
Iowa State leads in the meet 12-5. Now Alger looks like he might get to his feet.
Come on, Alger. And I didn't get it.
Tate still has it.
Oh, that quarter Nelson!
Tossing Tate to his back if he can.
Oh, and I don't even get one out of that, but I'm still down 7-2.
Just the finish twice, which he didn't. And I'll give Tate the credit.
Watch him come back up.
Come around.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's go off the mat. You're down.
Crowd is up on its feet here at Hilton Coliseum. We've had some thrillers, one after another here. Again, Tate gets Alger flat.
All right, this is it. He's got the arm now, slides in the chicken.
I got it now. That's what I've been waiting for. See,
well, you ain't gonna turn me there. I don't get turned.
I'm gonna tell you, I watched Heffernan use that move, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do that
7-2. Did you pick up back here?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the other side. See? Boom.
And look at this. I'm gonna load him up.
He gave me 2.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Well, I'll take it, though.
They needed to win this one. They can win this meet.
I think they didn't believe it until right now. With riding time, it's 10-2. Tate, and it's a major decision. Bill Tate upsets Royce Alger 12-5. 10-2, a major decision. And now, I'll tell you, these horses here for Iowa, the horses are really going to have to get to work.
I mean, look how many times you staved getting thrown to your back on that. That's a good match. Good stuff. Good.
No, it was one of the best matches that we ever had a guy wrestle for us in a big situation.
Like I did when we were in grade school, turn on Iowa Public Television.
Yes,
That's what I did.
No, I know.
But yeah.
But let's not mince words here. I just had to watch get my ass kicked over here. You're sitting over there. There's a big. This is your day, and I'll give you that. And because it was about that duel. It'd be Folderall to think anything different.
Now, I'll tell you, these horses here for Iowa, the horses are really going to have to get to work. They know they can't just be safe and get 3-point decisions. They got to go out and try to pin somebody.
Now they've got a lot of plowing to do right now. I'll tell you, that 1 team-point deduction when they lost it, and that major decision against them, even with the loss, those are going to be 2 critical points in this meet.
Van Arsdale on the left for Iowa State against a national champion. Marty Kistler ranked number 1 for Iowa.
Hi, I'm Marty Kistler from Riverside, California. I'm a 3-time All-American and a 2-time NCAA champ, and outstanding wrestler in 1986.
In many ways, to me, he personifies the Iowa wrestler program. He goes at you. But Van Arsdale's been tough this year.
Van Arsdale will wrestle with Kistler. This can be a very good match. He is no slouch, believe me.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Arsdale. I'm from Waterloo, Iowa. I went to West High School there, where I was state champion. And I also went to Iowa State, where I was 3-time All-American and national champ.
I figured after Royce got beat, we're coming out with Marty Kistler, defending national champion, really, really dominant that year. Van Arsdale's very good, tough. We knew he probably wasn't going to get a major, but we were going to win.
Iowa State putting out Metzger, deciding not to wrestle Volker, and then Iowa weighed in Raleigh Kane from Wapsie Valley, and they could put him out there thinking he could beat
both men stalling.
Metzger.
You're
and
just
then
reaching,
they move
there's no depth.
Dwayne Goldman up to heavyweight to wrestle Heropolis.
That's Steve Metzger. And Goldman last year used to beat Heropolis at 190. So
they think he can do it again. That weight may be a difference. This is going to be real fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. That's John Heropolis back in the tunnel. Dan Gable on the right. Mark Johnson, assistant coach on the left.
We're looking at the potential to see that 36-match streak snapped right here.
But we're looking for big bonus points possibly, and I just didn't feel good that was going to happen in that match.
Last year, national title holder at 158. He was runner-up the year before.
And see what he's doing is he's riding on that strike that takes that away.
Escape for Van Arsdale. It's now 1-0.
I didn't have an easy match against Iowa ever.
That's Goldman, Dwayne Goldman. A lot is going to rest on this man's shoulders, Dwayne Goldman, wherever he wrestles.
That's right.
If you missed a little of this match, of this meet so far, Harry Summit pinned Matt Egelin. That was really the tempo start. That got the ball going for Iowa State. 4:24 in the match. He pinned Egelin. Kelly beat Penrith 5-2. Now you see.
He did a nice little duck under there.
Kistler with a duck under.
Nothing yet.
At 134, Randall beat Jeff Gibbons 8-4. Then Dresser probably took over the #1 rating by beating Joe Gibbons in a heck of a match 4-3. But Krieger upset, well, I don't know if you call it an upset, but he beat Heffernan at 150 for Iowa State, 6-4. And then Bill Tate got a major decision over Royce Alger.
Yeah, it was tight, but it loosened up.
1-1 is the score. An escape for Van Arsdale, a penalty point against Van Arsdale in the second period. Van Arsdale is tough on top. Now, Kistler is out. And it's 2-1, Kistler.
Now, we haven't seen Van Arsdale have an offense yet, but he's still in this match mentally, which means that he might generate an offense and score.
Now, Kistler is where he wants to be. That's what he wants.
Well, he's got to be able to stay down toward the foot. Don't get up where the hips can hurt him. Van Arsdale's got to hit the move right here. He's got an opportunity. Can't wait for him. Got to throw that thing.
And Kistler wins. Did he get him 2? No. No riding time. It's a 1-point match. Kistler 2, Van Arsdale 1. But if you're an Iowa State coach, you say, I can beat him at the Nationals, huh?
That's right. The Hawks are wrestling tired in this match.
Yeah, it is true. All right, 3 points now for Iowa. That brings them up closer and closer. 16-8. Iowa State still leads in this big meet at Hilton Coliseum. You're watching on Iowa Public Television.
I can't say at any dual meet I was at my best, but I can say that I was competitive in those dual meets and trying to do my best to win. But it was like part of the overall scheme at Iowa State, and that was to be national champions.
We go to 177. Iowa is definitely favored here. It's Rico Ciparelli, ranked #3, up against Bob Gassman. But Gassman made the first offensive move.
Well, we've watched Gassman all year make offensive moves and bounce out of there. Now, the last time we saw him against Northern Iowa, he did not bounce out of there. He hit in on some of those offensive moves and scored takedowns. And if he'll do that against Ciparelli, he can score. He's an excellent talent. It's just that Chipperelli is so dangerous, you kind of get afraid of going on in there, because he's another one of those guys, like I was telling Krieger and Randall, his hips can hurt you so much.
Yeah, you get a tiger by the tail.
177, it was Chipperelli against Gassman, and when I was watching that match, I know Chipperelli. I've watched him wrestle before. I know how dangerous he is. Counters you so well. You do a lot of the work, and he ends up with the score.
He was fun to watch. I mean, he was fun for other coaches to watch.
If Iowa wants to win the meet, they got to have big wins out of these next two weights, because they're in trouble at heavyweight.
Iowa has won 36 straight. There's Eric Volker. There is Steve Metzger. They're both getting ready. They both weighed in. They both weighed 190 pounds today.
You know, I think Rico and I felt pretty confident in our matches, but, you know, we had our backs against the wall at that point, but it was just kind of those little turns and tides of that whole match.
This is what is generally considered the meat of the Iowa lineup, the really tough guys, or where their dominance against the Iowa State opponent might come.
Well, they thought they might dominate the last one. They had to fight for their life in order to win it. So, you know, you never know. It's so far gone a long way. He's not doing what he wants to do, I'm sure. Chipperelli from Iowa is not getting him over, and that's what he thinks he should be doing.
And I think Rico was maybe a little bit of the wild card because anything could happen with Rico's matches, and he could put you on your back and pin you in a hurry. So I think everybody was kind of, you know, thinking, well, we still got kind of an ace in the hole with Rico in terms of maybe getting some extra bonus points with a pin.
Okay, Bombing is set.
16-8, Cyclones over the Hawks. I don't think we've seen the last amazing incident yet.
It takes a little bit of time to work the offense. Not that it's wrong, it's just that he's got to be able to score from this. We saw this the other time now. Gaspin's there.
There went a knee.
Yep.
And we've seen really things happen in injuries, and I'm afraid that this may be one of them.
You hate to see it. But we've seen a lot of guys in those spots.
Because in this match, he gets dinged up and he gets hurt a little bit. And one of the things that you're thinking about as a coach is thinking, you know, let's get through this meet healthy. That's one of the major concerns.
Gassman is on his feet, and he's going to go. And that gets the crowd in it again.
Yes. Coaches, let's listen to this.
Before the control was initiated. Okay, ready?
It's 2-1. Chipperelli leads.
Gassman's been there. Here he is again.
This time he goes up high. He changed off to a tight waist. Again, Chipperelli is like a cobra up there waiting to strike because he's so dangerous as a counter wrestler.
You know, I was hoping that Rico would pin him because that's what he was known for, and I think he was, you know, he was certainly heavily favored in that match. And he was going out there, looked like he was going to dominate, possibly get a pin, and he just did the things Rico did.
You don't want to get up around Chipperelli's waist. Get up higher than that, gets you in trouble.
And again, his knee hurt. But 2 points to take down to Chipperelli. And injury time is called again. They don't want to take this thing too far. They don't want to lose 6 points for a default. Gassman isn't going to let him.
Well, instinct says go ahead and wrestle. You know, I mean, you see boxers get up from being knocked out and they think they can go back and box. And he's a good athlete. Feels like he can, but when they start to take a look at it, maybe they'll find that pressure point. 7 seconds to go.
7 seconds to go in the second period. Chipperelli is leading by 3.
Well, just hit a spiral right there and attempt to stop him.
All right, now we got 1 period to go. Iowa State leads Iowa 16-8. We're at 177 pounds. His good leg is the one that he's trying to protect.
Chipperelli took the down position because he thinks he can score. It gives him 1 more point. Gives him an opportunity then to come back and maybe get that major decision.
That's it.
And out comes Chipperelli, leads 5-1. It's important. Every point matters here because the meet is so close. Takedown for Chipperelli, 7-1.
Watch me.
He might be wise right now. You just cut him loose. Unless he can turn him over, just cut him loose because he's been penalized in this position. Gassman's just basing out, trying not to get turned.
And he has a riding time. And so if he were able to get out and make another takedown. Gassman against Chipperelli. There's Rico. Only a junior.
Well, he's wrestling as fresh as any of the guys on the team so far have. It's like he understands what's going on, what he has to do. Staying with it.
And he does let the escape go. It's 7-2. It's actually a 6-point difference because Chipperelli will get a riding time point. And if the takedown comes. However, Gassman has not been warned yet.
Well, he was the offensive wrestler almost the whole match. All of a sudden, he's just stopped doing that.
A big takedown for Chipperelli. Maybe he's going to try to find something, and yeah, like that.
Well, he might just try to finish.
Now it's 9-3, a 7-point difference. And here's the place where Gassman needs to go. It makes a difference of a point in his team. Unfortunately, he's going to lose it again. And now Chipperelli definitely has a major decision. 11-3. He's had 3 takedowns in this period. Chipperelli would like to get some back points maybe. But the match ends. Riding time for Chipperelli. And it's a major decision. 12-3 for Rico Chipperelli over Gassman of Iowa State. And so the Hawkeyes have won 2 in a row. And here comes Goldman. He comes out first. He doesn't have to do that.
Well, he
Who's going to wrestle? It's going to be Volker.
Hi, I'm Eric Volker from Dallas Center, Iowa. I'm a former 2-time national champ and 3-time All-American and a member of the Iowa State National Championship Wrestling Team in 1987.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Goldman. I grew up here in Colorado Springs where I wrestled at Cheyenne Mountain High School. There I was a 2-time state champion. From there I went and wrestled at the University of Iowa for Dan Gable where I was a 4-time Big Ten champ, a 4-time national finalist, and an NCAA champion in 1986.
It's going to be Eric Volker coming out for Iowa State at 190 pounds, the first time out since he wrestled against Goldman last time. Boy, you don't think there's electricity in this hall because Iowa State still leads by 4. And we have the heavyweight match, Hierapolis against Sindlinger, still coming up. A freshman against a senior.
When I wrestled him the first time, he was 18-0. He had won the Las Vegas tournament. He was the outstanding wrestler there, but I had never seen him wrestle before. I mean, obviously there was no FloWrestling, there was no anything, and so I'd never really had the opportunity. I just knew of him and kind of what he had done.
How do I beat an opponent that's actually better than me? And I had done that a little bit earlier in that season, beating the returning champ Dan Shade out in Vegas. And so there were points in my life that I had these milestones that were happening of both learning physically and learning mentally. But this was a tough one because Goldman was strong.
With Eric, he was just his explosiveness when they're right in front of you, you know, so I had to try to keep some angles where he just never got a clean blast.
The first time these 2 men met in Iowa City, Goldman won 10-4.
That was the only collegiate takedown I lost that year was in that first match.
Recognizing that you just can't go through somebody that strong. But I tried.
There was a stress fracture in there. This time Goldman can't. You see him coming in with that wild double leg. Beautiful shot.
Caught him a little off balance right there. He was going one way and he came back and just had the arm trap. Almost caught him on his back.
I remember pulling my headgear away from my head because it was so loud in Hilton of people cheering against you.
Goldman, such an outstanding wrestler. He's finished 3 years in a row as runner-up in the Nationals after winning Big Ten titles. He is undefeated at 26-0.
Stalemate.
It's been a thriller. There's Hierapolis talking to his coach, Eddie Bannock, who was on the Iowa team the last time Iowa State beat Iowa in 1981.
So during the 190-pound match, it was becoming apparent to me the gravity of the situation, that the dual meet was probably going to come down to the heavyweight match.
Crowd got into it a little bit when Goldman went back on the foot. 2-0 Goldman over Volker. That's Gibbons.
He's about to experience the first real big win of his life. And he's had some big ones, but
well, if he can get it.
That was the most confident I had seen Dwayne, and I felt great about him during that time. And not that it was important, but I just remember thinking that I don't know how this guy's going to lose, just the way he was wrestling at that point in his career.
What he's got to do is keep the hips high. Take him out.
Eric Volker. Gable's in the heavyweight.
He's too high. He's in trouble right here.
An escape.
A lot of power.
Iowa has to win both matches. Iowa has to win both of them.
Got him extended. Got him extended.
And Goldman spins around and scores, makes it 7-1. 7-2 after the escape. Mark Sindlinger is going to wrestle for Iowa at heavyweight, and John Heropoulos for Iowa State. As it happened so many times in the past, this meet comes down to the heavyweight match. And it's fun, I must say, to have it happen.
That's right. You see the picture there of Coach Gable, and he's not sitting passively in the chair anymore. He's up and getting some instructions here.
Iowa State has not had anything happen here to their advantage since 158.
That's going to be tempo now.
A warning against Volker. Jim Gibbons is a little discouraged about that, and he calls the referee over. Now he's going to have to watch what he says.
Eric took the shot to get him there in the first place.
No, this is over a period of time. He's been tying, he's holding on, tying up. He's been backing off. He takes a shot every once in a while, but this has been over a period of time, and he just backed off there. I understand what you're saying, but it's been for a period of time.
That's Sindlinger, Mark Sindlinger, starting center on the Iowa football team. Well, of course, he'd like to make it a three-point decision because then a draw heavyweight would win for Iowa State.
That's right.
That's why this takedown that Goldman wants is so important.
They can't afford to let him tie him up like that. There's just one arm blocking him.
And Goldman gets it. That was a big takedown. Oh, such a big one. Well, it's going to be exactly tied right now. It is 16-all going to heavyweight. A major decision for Goldman against Eric Volker. I think Iowa State would have preferred not to have Volker out there, but he wanted to go, and he did go. Here comes John Heropoulos for Iowa State, ranked number 5. Sindlinger is a crackerjack wrestler, and he's a lot bigger than Heropoulos.
Of course, Mark Sindlinger, hell, 6 weeks before we were watching Mark playing a bowl game. And Mark would come over, sneak over to the wrestling room and lift weights with us a little bit.
I had not ever wrestled him. I knew he was ranked, and I knew the coaches. Coach Bannock was working out with him, and so I knew, a little bit about what he did and what to expect in the match.
After the 190-pound match, when I walked out, a lot of things kind of flashed through my mind. I thought to myself how far I had come from just the year before, where it had been a mediocre transfer year. And I also felt for an instant tremendous pressure, almost a little bit of panic.
There's nothing like it. Iowa State, it's one of the best shows on earth.
Third straight win for the Hawks. They have now pulled for the first time even with Iowa State, and it's all up to the heavyweights. And the crowd at Hilton Coliseum is on its feet.
Whoa.
Good looking guy.
Yeah, he don't look like he's going out to lose.
Yeah.
Hey, man, he's young yet. Yep. Big situation.
Wrestling tonight from Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa.
It was always that first 2 weeks in January or whenever it was that I got him, and he was so out of shape, and he just come off football, and he knew it.
I'm sure he isn't in shape to wrestle the same kind of match that Heropoulos can wrestle. He's a three-time state champion with a wealth of experience, but in high school, not in college. And there's a lot of difference between training for football and training for wrestling.
Now, there's going to be a little coaching in this match.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of excitement, but Heropoulos has that low-level attack, has the ability to get in there and shoot those outside shots, so he doesn't absorb all the weight all the time.
My name's John Heropoulos. I'm from Canton, Ohio, and I was an NCAA runner-up for Iowa State University in 1986.
Hello, I'm Mark Sindlinger. I was a three-time state champ for Jim Miller in Charles City. Graduated from Iowa. I wrestled the '88 season.
How could you tell how good this man is? You don't get to see him long enough to know if he's any good.
There's how big he is. He's carrying his coach around.
That's Jim Miller. It's Iowa State's Heropoulos against Iowa's Sindlinger at heavyweight to decide. Yes, if you just joined us, it decides the Iowa State meet. Heropoulos in on a single leg. Against a lot of power, he gets the takedown. Boy, you don't think this crowd is up now.
This is a big moment right here, me and you.
I think it's just the beginning, Doug. Here's Heropoulos.
Leading 2-0, riding on top. Going to the other side. He said he was the center on the Iowa football team that went to the Rose Bowl, a starting center. He's 6-1 in his brief season so far. Heropoulos in on the leg again.
You see, he stopped the motion right there, but he didn't take him out of position. So here's Heropoulos back with the ability to score. Nice bar guard.
Yeah. There's the end of the first period. And it's 4-1. Heropoulos over Sindlinger. Sindlinger gets his choice if he wants to go down. Oh, the crowd is up again. Been a lot of excitement here. We're happy to bring it to you on our 10th anniversary season of college wrestling.
Yeah, I felt really good starting the second period. I think I had a 4-1 lead. And the first thing I did is I think I put a deep waist in, which I hadn't really, a deep waist ride I hadn't done in the prior period, and was immediately rolled and put into a cradle. So for an instant there, that didn't feel too good.
Now he's got the cradle locked up. And look what Heropoulos does with his left arm right there. You see how he grabs his hand?
Yeah, he needed to.
Yeah, right there.
He couldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knew that hold or he just.
It is just maybe instinct.
Yeah, I think it was. Look at that. That was close.
Look at that. He's got that left ankle.
Yeah.
Just, please don't take me.
He knew that jump across. There a couple of guys that knew the cradle jump. Rico probably could have got him here, but
yeah.
But I don't know if he ever had a cradle on too many times. I'm sure he did. Whoa.
So when he locked up the cradle, and I don't think I'd been cradled for several years, I just remembered from high school someone saying you grabbed your own ankle and try to break the grip, which I couldn't do, but that's what I was trying to do.
Right when he lost that hold, went forward instead of bringing his knees under him. That's the difference, between a full-time wrestler and a And it wasn't part-time because he was a great wrestler in high school too.
Well,
but
it ended up being a two-time All-American for you and two-time Big Ten champion.
Right. No, he turned out really good. He still turned out really good. Great guy.
We're in the second period. It's 6-3, Heropoulos over Sindlinger. A good match. Very good match here at heavyweight, and it will decide this meet because we're tied, my friend, at 16 all. Iowa and Iowa State. Heropoulos listening to his coach, Eddie Bannock.
Well, they want him to watch out for that roll.
Maybe this is why we lost the meet right here. I'm not.
You're not on your feet?
Where's my energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've probably seen too much of that I didn't like. I needed to get my butt kicked. Looking at me like that. I think coming into the meet, I was looking okay. I'm worn out there. Yeah. The meet's not over. Come on. I'm a little disappointed in myself. Still time on the match. I mean, we can win this meet.
Right here, you see him start to take the knee. Now he's got to be able to scoop the head in and then block that elbow out.
There's the end of the second period. Heropoulos by 3. Now Heropoulos will get his choice. and he's going to start on the bottom. He's going to start on the bottom. Let's see what Sindlinger can do. Mark is going to have to do something here on top. He's not able to hold Heropoulos down.
In the third period, I was down, and I escaped quickly. And at that point, so many times throughout the year, I'd build up leads in the third period by taking my opponents down and letting them up. I wanted to do that, but I was also very cognizant of the circumstances. I didn't want to make any mistakes.
Sindlinger.
That's just keeping him from getting taken down. It's not generating an offense. Heropoulos can do this all day, and it's just to his advantage. Just take the low-level attack. That's what he does best. There it is again.
Uh-oh. Sindlinger got a little bit of a good position there.
Or what John Heropoulos does so well for Iowa State is he does not lose position when he hits the outside attack.
Most of the third period, although I was offensive, I didn't have any really deep leg attacks, but I did maintain good position.
A minute and 2 seconds to go. 7-3. Heropoulos leads. Let's set it up again. It's 16 all. Iowa State 16. Iowa 16. Number 1 team against the number 2 at Hilton Coliseum. The rematch of these two state powers.
You know, I played a pretty good role in that drama.
It's beginning to look like Iowa State is going to upset Iowa. You bet. At Hilton Coliseum. And it's counting down. And it's Iowa State, the winner.
That's a big win there.
Yeah, it's big night for the Cyclones. Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed to be at that elevation when you come over. It was nice of you to do that. So.
They got the Iowa State coach Jim Gibbons up and all the Iowa State coaches are getting a ride. Well, are you glad you showed up or not? I see Iowa State President Robert Parks is out on the mat. He's a wrestling fan, and he's coming out to shake the coach's hand, too. Maybe you'll get a shot of him. There he is. He's a big wrestling fan. Eddie Bannock talking with his old coach. Well, we're going to try to get Jim Gibbons out here in just a minute. See if CP can line up the boss here of this young Iowa State team that just upset the Iowa Hawkeyes 19-16. If you just tuned in, you have to get Jim down off the ceiling first. Well, let's see. Here's how it happened. The 118-pound match went to Perry Summit, a fall. He pinned Matt Egelin. That really started it all out for Iowa State. And Kelly made it 9-0 with a 5-2 win over Penrith. We may cut away here for anytime we get this interview lined up. There is Gibbons. He's shaking hands with and getting a big hug from Dave Cox. Let's see what he looked at the end of the match, end of the meet. Gibbons. That's what he used to do when he won the championships. And up under the shoulders he goes of his brother Joe and Mike Van Arsdale of the victorious Cyclone team. Well, we'll finish up what the rundown was on that. On the matches tonight after we talk with Jim Gibbons. Chuck?
Coach Gibbons, biggest win, first time. What's your feeling?
Well, I think it's a good thing for college wrestling. I really do. I think our guys at the beginning of the season, we told them that if they went out there and wrestled as hard as they could, they'd do something great for college wrestling, and they've just done that right now.
They sure did. And you had a great crowd here today. Really got with it.
Oh, they did. They were fantastic. The students really got behind us, and these people back here, the general public, and it was just a fantastic experience.
Yeah, and I know that you were kind of a cheerleader there near the end. Really got them going, too.
Well, I find myself in that position. Sometimes you're pretty helpless. You know that feeling.
Yes, I do. Well, your kids really did an outstanding job today.
Yeah, they did. They went out there and wrestled their hearts out, and we told you to give you a better match, and we won it.
Well, I'll tell you, I really have a lot of admiration for you being able to get the coaching staff together and get the squad going. A new spirit at Iowa State. Really proud of you.
I've got the best assistant coaches in the country. Let me tell you that right now. And we got a great group of kids. We've expanded our nucleus like we talked about early in the season. And and it's been a fantastic experience.
Well, good luck to you next week in the Big Eights, and then go on to the national tournament.
We're definitely looking forward to it. This will be a good confidence builder for us. We know Iowa will be back. They got a great program, and Dan Gable's a fantastic coach.
Well, good luck to you, Coach.
Me? Oh, I was telling him what he needed to hear, but not what I wanted to say. And the fact that my mind was going 100 miles an hour already, you know. And that's why that trip home was a little weird.
That story, people ask me about, did Gable make those guys run?
Mark Johnson and I, when this thing first came out, this idea, and I texted him and I said, this is the dual meet with that crazy story about the rest stop, right? He goes, I think it was.
And we were going for our 9th straight, so rumor is I stopped the bus 9 miles out, made him run all them 9 miles. You know, I'm not going to tell you for sure if that's fact or fiction, but it did cause a rule to become in effect.
As I remember, it was snowing like crazy after that meet, and we're driving down Interstate 80, and there's a rest stop probably 12 or 15 miles just outside Iowa City. And one of the vans I was on, pulled over. We stopped at a rest stop.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about that van ride and where we stopped and where the guys got off, and we kind of keep that in-house because that's something that's I remember well, and I remember a lot of people talking about it. We just all kind of, you know, some people winked, some people said it was true, some people didn't, and we'll kind of leave it there.
Well, I doubt it if that happened because it was so cold out. I mean, there's no way a human being would do that to another human being. Well, Gable might, but, you know.
Of course, the rumor was the next day that Gable was so mad at us, especially that group of guys, that he made us get out, put our sweats on, put our running shoes on, and made us run home from that rest stop in the middle of this driving snowstorm because we lost the dual meet.
Once they heard about that, they said, well, you can't work your kids out after matches anymore that same day. And I could have come up and said, I don't know if that really happened, but I'm not going to tell the truth one way or the other right now. But then I know for sure that, and I can tell you a fact, though, that when we got back, we had a wrestling practice. So it was 9 miles and then a wrestling practice. Whether those 9 miles are fact or fiction, I'm not going to say. But we did have a wrestling practice that night.
I remember he worked us out when we got back, and it wasn't a cavalier workout either. It was stairs and running shoes, and anytime he says get the running shoes on, you know you got stairs, sprint laps, and ropes.
Nowadays, if something like that happened, that would be a major fiasco. And so, you know, whether it did, whether it didn't, whether whatever the facts of the stories are, I just know if it was 9 miles, my dad would have said, why didn't you stop 10 miles out?
I remember us working out, and Gable was pissed.
Yeah, I've been there. Absolutely.
And I don't know if Matt Eglin told you the story about him leaving the team. So as I remember, we were going to Minneapolis, and we were leaving Friday morning, so a bunch of us got together. In fact, I think the whole team actually got together that night to cut weight, start getting your weight down, but we did it as a group. So we're all in Carver in the wrestling room and, you know, get our sweats on. Everybody got a pretty good sweat. Everybody's kind of in a great mood, feeling good about themselves. And all of a sudden, somebody's like, hey, where did Matt go? And just kind of everybody started walking around, wondering what was going on, where he went, and he disappeared. So long story with how that whole thing transpired, but the long and short of it was is we went in without a 118-pounder to the Big Ten tournament.
How are we going to handle this? And I thought we'd handle it well, but, you know, we handled it very, very well.
For
the University of Iowa, it was a tremendous day. They wrapped up the team title, the NCAA Wrestling Championships, before the finals began. And then in the finals, they really came through at 126 pounds. Brad Penrith, Kevin Dressler won at 142, Heffernan at 150, Marty Kessler 167, and Dwayne Goldman at 190 pounds. Dwayne Goldman had tried 3 times before. He captured it today.
I think what puts Iowa State's victory into perspective is what happened at Nationals when Iowa welcomed the NCAAs into Carver Hawkeye and just cleaned everybody's clock. You get 6 out of your 8 guys in the finals, 5 of them winning. I mean, that's just astounding. And you can make a pretty good case that those 86 Hawkeyes, if they weren't the best college wrestling team ever, they're in the argument. The larger picture, I think what that does is show you just how good that Iowa team was. And I have to believe, knowing how sports work, I don't know that Iowa does what they did if they don't lose the duel to Iowa State.